Norm Doucet, a diehard Cubs fan, despite being from South Carolina, moved to Chicago just as the White Sox won the 2005 World Series. A cruel twist of fate for his unwavering Cubby devotion that saw him famously blow off a client meeting to celebrate the Cubs' 2016 World Series victory. A U.S. Marine Corps veteran, Norm is a singer, songwriter, and master storyteller whose extensive international adventures and encounters, like doing shots with Metallica and a wild story involving Johnny Depp and cocaine. We may not be able to put this on the internet. Paint a picture of a man akin to a sharper, more colorful Forrest Gump. Though he playfully admits to being a bit of a screw-up, Norm is fiercely proud of his wit, his unwavering loyalty to his friends, and deep devotion to his two daughters, holding a sage belief in that generational labels are merely modern terms for enduring human characteristics. Okay, Norm, you know the drill. Are you sure?
Okay, so hey everybody. I actually wrote my original 2-minute thing about a time in my life with toxic masculinity, aka the Marine Corps, which I was going to jump on. I actually jumped out of an airplane. It was like crazy shit. But I had a walk with my 9-year-old daughter yesterday, and then after that walk, I was like, I have to write something based on that conversation. So here we go. My darling youngest daughter, a creature of pure, unadulterated chaos and brilliance, delivered a profound warning about artificial intelligence the other day. We were ambling back from the Square Roots Festival in Lincoln Square, a delightful sensory overload of wafting food aromas, the low and pleasant hum of 1,000 blended conversations, and enough assorted smoke from all the grills, smokers, and deep fryers to summon several ancestral spirits and possibly a very confused squirrel. As we were crossing the street, the "Don't Walk" sign changed to "Walk," and I lamented about the inefficiency of the traffic light system. AI could eliminate traffic jams, I said. Hell, AI could help us eliminate homelessness, hunger, and even cure cancer. Daddy, she began, her voice a perfectly pitched blend of a nine-year-old wisdom and the self-importance of someone who just discovered the word epistemology in a graphic novel. Do you trust AI? I said, yes. She said, are you sure? Like, no shit. She said, you really shouldn't trust AI. I paused, mid-chew on a delightfully tangy rib. Oh, and why's that, my tiny Cassandra of the concrete jungle? She stopped dead in her tracks, dramatically gesturing with a half-eaten barbecue rib like it was a scepter of truth. Because, she declared, her eyes wide with the conviction of a tiny cult leader, they don't have feelings. And if they don't have feelings, how can they truly understand art? Or like the importance of a really good drum circle? I tried to suppress a snort, but a small involuntary puff of ribs escaped my mouth. So, your concern is that Skynet won't appreciate a poorly tuned ukulele? She looked at me with a high level of disappointment, as if I'd just declared Picasso a hack. No, Daddy, it's deeper than that. Imagine if an AI wrote all the songs. They wouldn't have the angst, they wouldn't have the existential dread of trying to decide between a gluten-free waffle cone and the regular one. They wouldn't know the pure joy of finding a perfectly asymmetrical piece of poetry. Now, she's really smart, but some of those words are mine. She then launched into a surprisingly detailed, albeit highly embellished, hypothetical scenario involving a robot attempting to critique a performance art piece involving interpretive dance and a bagpipe. That shit is real. Her conclusion, delivered with a triumphant flourish of her sticky barbecue rib, was that any intelligence lacking the capacity for truly terrible decisions and questionable artistic taste was simply not to be trusted. As we finally sauntered back to my apartment, my mind reeled. Here was my 9-year-old, who still occasionally tries to feed socks to her new cat, eloquently articulating the very anxieties that plague the artistic community. Perhaps she was right. Perhaps the true measure of intelligence isn't the ability to calculate pi to a million decimal places, but the profound understanding of why someone would willingly subject themselves to 3 hours of experimental jazz, all in the name of art. And honestly, after that festival, I was beginning to think she was onto something. After all, if an AI can't appreciate the nuanced despair of a single out-of-tune kazoo, what good is it really? Thank you.